Hi,
Hey,
Jamal.
what's going on?
Oh, it's so glad to have you back here. It's been a while, huh? You've been everywhere, but not
It's
here.
it's
You've been
been
busy.
no, just on my own, just doing like my shows with my co-host Debbie. I spend my time working, and then I try to catch everyone's like live. I'll have literally have like 5 tabs open, and I just mute them all, and then like listen to each person's about 20 minutes at a time if I can.
Oh my God. Like, I don't know if I could do that. Like, you really are keeping yourself informed. I got to give you a lot of credit because there's a lot of, well, not that I'm going to go in it because that will take us well more than the hour that we have assigned for our AITA tonight. But we'll have to talk about that. Like, we should all get together and talk about some of this stuff. It's too crazy out there on the YouTube streets. It's like,
I mean, I think for me, like this is something. Just a little background. When I first started our channel, me and Debbie, we sat down. We said, okay, this is what we want to do. This is where we're gonna go. This is what we're not going to do. We both have a similar personality. Is that if it's not our fight directly, we're not getting involved. I mean,
uh-huh.
we can listen to our friends and support them and advise them, but will we jump in and white knight to defend them? No. Reason why is because once you become a creator, um, it's your fight and you have your own platform to fight with. So me jumping into a situation I'm not really having all the facts of, it's pointless. It doesn't make me look good. It doesn't make you look good. It doesn't make anyone look good.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have your platform, focus
Use it.
on your platform, use it when you need to, but you really should be focusing on your content because
Mm.
the reason why people tune into their channels is for the creator and the content. Um, this may not be a popular opinion, but I'm going to give it. Your personal drama is not content. It's not something that should be digestible day after day after day. If you have issues with another
That's
creator, you know, talk to the creator straight up. Like, hey, like this is what you did to me. This is how I feel. They'll respond like, you know what, we can agree to disagree or come to a resolution. Either way, your channel should be about your subscribers and your content.
Yep. You know what? I don't believe that that's the unpopular opinion. I actually think, call me the asshole if you want, that is the popular opinion. It's mine. I don't, I'm here to do my content. You see my content. It's definitely not what's going on out there. If you want to know how I feel about all that, check out my Twitter. But it's like, don't bring it to YouTube, man. Just it don't belong here. I just don't think that it's important enough to address on my channel. Actually, it's
Your channel is so much
crazy.
fun. It's
Do
a
you
it's
like
a
it?
These are fun. I subscribe to a whole array of channels. I think I'm over like 150 channels right now because I love commentary. That's my favorite genre of
Hmm.
YouTube. But I
Hmm.
do like stuff like this that's fun and light. There's Dina's channel that deals with real life issues like
Hmm.
addiction, things of that nature. So I like listening to people's stories,
Yep.
and getting like their insight because I think it's super important
Hmm.
that we have these types of channels to where we can like have resources and can listen and learn. They're super
Yep.
important. There's room for
They
everybody.
they are. I think the AIT leads to a good discussion. Usually, they are funny, but there's also some good lessons in there, and also the other content. Like I have been doing a lot of AITA because it's fun, and I do like interacting with all the other creators. But I do have other things on the channel. I don't know if people only watch the comedy stuff, but
Your Manson was good. I will say that. I watched
oh, thank
your
you,
Manson
thank
stuff.
you.
The Manson stuff was very good.
Oh, thank you very much. I've also done addiction stuff and boundary stuff. I've done addiction with chastity, and I'll be doing more of that. I like to do one-on-one conversations with people about issues. That's the avatars live part of it, and not the AITA or the new Saturday Madness. But a couple of parodies here and there. But you can't hide your personality. So I admit it. I've got I'm multifaceted, so that will be what my channel is. It won't be just one thing because there's more to me than that. I'm not just an asshole. And on that note, I'm going to pull up the first one. Are you ready?
Yes,
You
I
think you're
am.
ready? Are you ready? Okay, good. Oh, Where is this one? Here it is. Got it. I've been wanting to do this one, and I think that you are quite the measured person to do this one with, because it was a little emotional, but it had some good, real good points in it that I know you're going to pull out right away.
Let's do it.
I don't know why it's not coming up for you, because it said. Here it is. All right. Is that coming?
Let's see.
What? It's saying it can't access my screen for some reason. You know what? I'm going to read it, Jamal. I'm not going to be able to put it up. For some reason, I'm having browser issues, everyone. I do apologize. We started a little later because things were not acting right. But we're going to go with it. You won't see what I'm reading. You're just going to have to trust me. I do read the words that are there. I swear. I'll link them if you need them. Anyway, I married my wife. I am a 30-year-old female, and I married my wife 36 years ago. No, I'm my wife, who's 36 years, a year ago. We had been together for 6 years, married one before she passed away. It has been a really rocky time for me, and I am still struggling, but getting there day by day. So just to clarify, because I messed it up, she is 36 years old, and she got married a year ago, but they were together 6 years before that, because that sentence got mangled. My wife had been close with her grandmother when she was growing up. And when she passed away, her grandmother left a beautiful ring, which had been in the family for generations. My wife used this ring to propose to me, and it also became my wedding ring. I have worn it every day since she gave it to me, and it is truly my most precious item for her. It feels like she is with me always when I look at it, and it brings my heart some happiness to remember our time together. My wife even spent money on the ring to get it restored, as it had a few cosmetic faults. But by doing this, it more or less doubled the value. It is very unique and shaped like a snake with a diamond in its head and rubies for eyes. The diamond was cracked and the blue enamel needed repairing, which she did before proposing to me. My brother-in-law has now decided to propose to his girlfriend, and he wants to use the snake ring as their grandmother wanted the ring to be used as an engagement ring when one of her grandchildren wanted to marry. At first come, first served situation. Although it was never really expected her granddaughter would be doing the proposing, it was always assumed the boys would offer it to their girlfriends, but my wife got there and did it first, and that was that. It was never really questioned either, as my wife and she had been so close. Nobody had any objections at the time, as the ring was still within the family and neither of my brother-in-laws were anywhere near getting engaged. I refused to give the ring back, and now I have caused a huge rift with my family-in-law. My mother-in-law and brother-in-laws are all calling me an asshole, as they want the ring to continue being part of their family and to be passed down in the generations as it was expected to. I am distraught. My wife and I are not big sentimental gift givers, and this is honestly the only thing she was truly proud to gift to me. It was a huge deal for us, and it meant the world to both of us. My family-in-law has also thrown in my face that my grandmother wouldn't even have wanted me to have it since she was Russian and would very much be against a same-sex couple. This really hurts and feels like a low blow, as although it's definitely true, I was accepted by my family-in-law. The grandmother had long been gone before I met my wife. They are now saying that it should go to the boys as she intended. It's all got really nasty, and I just don't know what to do. The family have been offered to buy the ring off of me for the full value of the ring with repairs, but I refuse it. It is the only thing I have of my wife, and parting with it feels like the only piece I have left of my broken heart being taken away. Am I the asshole? And now she has some edits on here that I'm not going to read until we talk, because they'll kind of give away the story. But were you able to follow along that without reading the?
Yes, I was.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So go ahead. Sorry.
no, go ahead. You first, sir.
I was gonna just say, like, I can get both sides to a degree, but based on what we've heard, it was based on first come first serve. Um, the grandmother seemed to have maybe sort of antiquated ways, so the assumption would be the boys would propose to their girlfriends, but now, um, we've moved quite a bit of ways in society with same-sex marriage, same-sex couples, so they use an assumption. But like I said, times have changed. So she did the thing and she proposed first. So the ring was hers to propose with. And I feel personally that the wife is entitled to the ring. Now, if we're going, do we want a happy family? What I would suggest is that um, she take the money personally, and then I would have a similar ring made. That's me trying to be keeping the family happy and together. But as far as the AITA, I feel that she's entitled to the ring.
I feel she's entitled to the ring. Here's where I'm at with it. The grandmother gave it to the girl. She left it to her. So regardless of what she said about keeping it in the family with the boys engaging and everything, at the point that her will was read, she gifted that ring to her granddaughter, not the son, not the grandsons. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
She made a decision before she died to do that. Now, whatever she had told everybody in the past, that's one thing, but her wishes are honored by her passing it along. And if she chose to give it to a same sex, maybe do you think the grandmother would really like take it back? Like, I don't think so. She loved her granddaughter.
So. Mm-hmm.
Russian or not, she might try to talk her out of it. But I don't think if she loved her enough to give her that ring, if she used that ring to get engaged with someone that she obviously loved and that they were all together, the family, I'm thinking the family are changing the rules. Like, this is not fair. They were together for 6 years and then they got engaged for a whole year. Nobody mentioned the ring when they got engaged. Nobody mentioned the ring when they got married. It was only when the grandson decided he wanted to get engaged and he's pulling the entitlement, whatever, like I'm the man and this same sex stuff don't fly. And, hey, give me the damn ring. It ain't flying with me. I'm sorry. I don't think it was the grandmother's intent. It might have been in the past, but she gave that ring. She bequeathed that ring to the granddaughter to do whatever she wants with it. It didn't come with a tag that said, give it back to the boys when they decide to get married.
Right.
Yeah. So I do see that she's in a problem because they're making the in-laws are making it a problem. And I give the original poster a lot of credit for actually even trying to consider a way out of this to keep everybody intact. They had a relationship before and she's trying to honor her wife and her wife's family and trying to find a solution. And I don't think that they are cooperating very much. That's just where I am with it. But let me now read you some of the updates, and do you see the screens up? Like, whoop, the internet universe, it just like decided to work with me. I'm so happy. Edit. Oh my, I wasn't expecting such a huge response from this, and I wanted to thank everyone for your replies. I'm working through them. I just want to give you a little bit more information based on your comments. No, my wife and I did not have children. Grandma definitely wouldn't have accepted the relationship. She was very old-fashioned, shall we say. There are lots of comments about leaving the ring in my will, which I think is a great idea. I hadn't been able to think clearly since this all happened because I felt stricken with grief again after the shock of being asked. I am going to speak with my mother-in-law and brother-in-laws ASAP and see if I can offer the ring to my brother-in-law's future children in my will. I don't want to part the family from the ring, but I don't want to part with it in my lifetime. So I'm hoping this can be resolved. I will post an update as soon as I have spoken to everyone. For those who have mentioned about giving it up if I remarry. I couldn't possibly answer that question at this point. My grief is blinding. To think about loving anybody else in this world feels absolutely impossible. So, what do you think of that solution? Like,
I like that solution.
I like that solution. So it was gifted to her by her wife. It belongs to her. But she is willing to compromise with the family to keep the ring in the family by bequeathing it back to them, which
Hmm.
that makes perfect sense to me because they're really not entitled to it. It's hers, in my opinion. But um, and so let's vote. I guess we're going to vote. If you think that the possessor of the ring, the original poster, is the asshole, vote 1. If you think the brother-in-law approaching her for the ring is the asshole, vote 2. If you think the whole family is assholes, vote 3. And if you think there's no asshole in this story, you can vote 4 and yay porn. And you can type in any other suggestions that you have because sometimes these have multiple assholes and different stories. And I didn't even put up any comments because I got so excited about them finally being able to. The line has ended. When does a family heirloom stop being one? I don't know. I guess when there's no one else to bequeath it. But, in today's culture, families are larger than just blood. So that's hard to say. What do you think, Jamal? When does it being an heirloom actually
Once it
stop?
leaves, for me, an heirloom starts being an heirloom once it leaves the family, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Once there's no one else to give it to or to pass it along to, that's when it starts being an heirloom. Like, say, you know how they have those estate sales where people have their heirlooms sold off?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like once that happens, that's when it starts being an heirloom because it's not part of your family anymore.
That's true. That's what I think too. Amy Lou has a good point. That does make sense. She is trying to keep the peace. I agree. It makes
Yes.
sense. Her solution. I'm all for it. Cheshire says it stops being an heirloom. It stops being one when it gets sold or given away or the family decides it isn't. That makes sense too. Right? That does. Yep. And Amy Lou also agrees with me. Yeah, most of my family isn't even blood. I have a very large family. I don't talk a lot about it, but I have like 2 step families, and we're all blood. We all get away in different degrees, all over, and I have family everywhere. So I understand that sentiment. And I have friends that are like I talk to more than I even talk to some of my family. So, it's hard to say, what's an heirloom, and it gets kind of sketchy, and I'm not for those kind of lines sometimes. I understand where it comes from and I want to be respectful to it, but I don't understand some of the blood talk and heirloom talk and who's entitled to what talk. I think that grandma decided to give it a ring. It's her ring. End of story. Whatever else was said. They don't get to change the rules afterwards because they don't like something. In my opinion, in my humble bare opinion. You ready for another one?
Yes, I am.
Oh, good. Let's see. Whoop, whoop, whoop. All right. This one, hopefully it'll come up. Come on, cooperate. It is not showing. Damn it. I think I'm getting interference from storms.
Oh.
Because it is not sharing for me. Oh, here we go. Yay! You can read it, Jersey. Here you go. All right. Am I the asshole for telling my friend he can't bring his girlfriend if she brings her service dog? I recently moved into my own apartment and I'm hosting a housewarming party of sorts with a few friends. One of my friends asked if she could bring her girlfriend, which is where the title comes in. I've met this girlfriend before and she seems really sweet, but the issue is I have an allergy to dogs and she has a service dog for some medical issues. The allergy isn't severe or anything, just uncomfortable when we're outside in public. It's not much of an issue, but I'd rather not have a dog in my apartment. I also have some medical issues of my own that make it more difficult to clean, etc. So dog hair getting places would be kind of a hassle. I do understand that her dog is very important to her. I just don't want the dog in my apartment. My friend got quite upset and said if the dog can't go, she can't go, and if she can't go, he won't go. He also used a few choice words to explain how I was being disrespectful. Am I the asshole for not changing my mind and holding that I won't have a dog in my apartment, even if it's a service dog?
So the way it sounds, they agreed for the friend to come before before they knew which friend it was. That's what it sounds like. Because I think if he's met this friend before, he would know that she had a service animal. So in this case, I don't think they're an asshole because this is not just I don't like dogs. This is not one of those situations. It's
Right.
more like there's severe medical issues going on here that I can't risk it. Like I wouldn't risk my health for someone else. Are you serious? No.
Yeah, you know what? I'm there too. She has a right. It's her place. And she's talking to him openly. She's saying, no, I can't have dogs. You know, she can come. She's willing to come, but the woman can't come without the dog. And I don't think that you get to hold the apartment owner hostage because you have an issue. I am all for people taking their service dogs everywhere
Yes.
and in public places and stuff like that. But this isn't a public place. This is her private home. And they should be able to work on something. She should know that it's not a personal thing. And she's not saying they can't associate outside of the home and go to other places. And she's not saying she wouldn't even go to her house or his house if the dog was there. She's just saying not in my house because I can't clean and I can't get rid of the dog hair. And I don't want it here where I live. Like I can't, you know, and I kind of, you know, it's a shitty situation for everybody involved, but I am leaning towards the apartment owner because, you know, even if you don't like dogs and you don't have an allergy, you still have a right to not let a dog in your house. Like you have that right. It's your house, you know, and it's your party. And yeah, you know, it might not be the most comfortable thing. And I got to give her credit for addressing it. But I have to say that she's not too much of an asshole, you know, and they have a right not to go. I understand the boyfriend doesn't want to go if his girlfriend can't go because his girlfriend can't go without the dog. But, you know, I just know plenty of other situations where, you know, people are in, you know, have issues and they can't stay along or they don't like loud noises. And I'm in situations where every environment is not great for every person. Okay. This is not purposeful exclusion. It's not like she's targeting her. It's the dog. And she said that the person is really nice and she has no problem associating with her, you know? So I don't really think she's an asshole, but what do you think? Yeah.
No, just simply because there's a medical issue involved.
Right.
That's why I lean with a homeowner. You know, she's not discriminating against the dog. She's not saying she doesn't like dogs. She's like, hey, the situation is this. I have severe medical issues, so therefore, I cannot have a dog in my house. Period.
Right.
Point blank.
And Austin says it's their home and there are medical reasons. Yes, there are. But Student also says antihistamine is a thing. Yes, if it was just the allergy that she had, I could understand that. But she's also saying she has difficulty doing chores around the house and cleaning. So she won't be able to free herself enough not to use antihistamines after the dog leaves. So, you know, she quite well admitted that. I mean, I agree. You know, if it was mild and she didn't have an issue with cleaning, you know, I would probably say the same thing. Take a pill. It's only an hour. Like, get over it. Don't make the woman feel bad. But on this case, you know, and you know me, I'm usually like, you know, find the middle of the road. Don't make somebody uncomfortable. But in this case, I really feel she has a right to stand up for herself a little bit. Uncovering says, my house, my rules, but I'm that asshole. You know, I am too. I hear you, Uncovering, and hi. Nice of you to be here. Thank you. But no, I get it. And Chesh is telling us not in some places in Canada. You mean public service dogs can't go in public places? Dogs
Yeah.
are allowed at bars in most of Canada. Well, that's good.
Here in the United States, it's if it's a service animal, you don't let them in. It's a lawsuit. At least in California.
Yeah, but we're
Straight
so
lawsuit.
yeah,
Straight
it
lawsuit.
is. Oh, student says she needs a service otter. Yeah, there's an answer. I like that answer a lot. Yeah. But yeah, if the dog can't be there, the dog can't be there. Like, grow up. I know. They're not offering any other solution. It's not like she doesn't want to socialize with them or anything. My dog went most places with me, but I respected when she couldn't come, and I get that. I'm with the homeowner. No way would I make myself miserable for an animal, not my own. And allergy meds can make you feel worse on top of the reaction. Exactly. Like, she wouldn't be able to have a drink. I don't know what kind of party it is, but, she wouldn't be able to drink or socialize. I know they can make you drowsy, It's not good. The friend getting mad at her is the ass and not much of a friend. Yeah, he's in a hard place, though. I kind of understand his position a little bit. Like, it's kind of difficult. I'm glad he's sticking up with his girlfriend and not making her so uncomfortable by going to the party, like that other guy from the other day who went to the party anyway after the girlfriend was insulted and taught, like that was lit. I was like, I couldn't believe that happened. At least he's sticking with his girlfriend, and they can do something and they can all get together later. There's not any personal slight trying to be made here. So I hope, like Chesh says, I hope they grow up and just, talk about it, right? So if you think the original poster, the op is the asshole for not letting the dog come, vote 1. If you think the boyfriend is the asshole for telling her off in some choice words, as she said. I hate when they don't list the choice words, Jamel. I have to use my imagination to what he said, and I really would rather to hear what he said.
Exactly.
Then, I want to know what kind of asshole he really was. But if you guys think he was asshole, vote number 2. If you think everybody in this is an asshole, you can vote number 3. If there is no asshole, just number 4. Yay, porn. No asshole. But I definitely think I'm going with number 2. I think the boyfriend is making more of this. We don't even know how the girlfriend feels about it. She might be being reasonable. It never came up, so I think maybe she is. Yep, I agree, Jersey Jojo. He's not actually an ass cannon because it's a difficult situation, but because of the choice words, I have to call the friend an asshole. Exactly. He wasn't being very understanding at all.
Right. My thing is there was no need for choice words. It's not your house.
It's period. Right. Like, yeah, you don't get to do that, right? I'm with you. I am with you. I know you have a stream. I'm going to try to do this next one.
Yeah, we're good on time.
Oh, good. But this one had me cracking up. I want to make sure we do. What time? Can you go a little past the half hour? Or I know you got time.
I have until about 3:50. Well, 6:50 East Coast time, I believe it is.
Okay, we'll cut you out at the 45 at the latest, and then give you time to get yourself situated and get a drink.
Thank you.
No, of course. I mean, I know prep is everything. Am I the asshole for telling the truth in a wedding toast? Ooh. Ooh. Okay, that could be juicy.
Yes.
I'm a 30-year-old male, and my best friend got married last week. I just bought a house, and my wife is expecting our son in November. So I let him know I was limited in what I could contribute financially, but I did tell him I would try my best. So I went to the bachelor party in Maine. I rented the tux and paid for mine and my wife's dinner at the rehearsal dinner. I also had a gift of $300 that I was going to give them, but we will get to why I didn't give it to them in a minute. His now wife, then fiance, texted me multiple times a day with updates. That's fine. I didn't always respond, and it got to the point where if I didn't respond at least once a day, I'd get a call from my buddy. I have a full-time job, and I'm redoing some rooms in my house, so I'm busy. She texted me for the following reasons. You ready, Jamal? These are gonna,
All right.
if you're wearing socks, they may fall off. Okay. My wife was not allowed to talk about our pregnancy at all. She didn't want anyone to focus on that more than her, the bride. Number 2, she was not going to order special food for my wife. No one asked her to. My wife was fine with whatever she was going to be served. Number 3, I was not helping the groom enough. He had to help her with favors and seating charts and programs, so I had to help him with those things, according to her. She also said to get ready to help with the thank you notes after the wedding. Number 4, she said if I was a true best man, I would offer to pay for the bar bill. I don't even know what that means. Number 5, she had to read and approve my speech before the rehearsal dinner and wanted to be included as much as my buddy. She told me to make up things if I had to. I was also not allowed to include anyone but the 2 of them, and no inside jokes or stories about my buddy that didn't include her. Number 6, her last text said to tell my wife to keep it together and not make a pregnancy scene during the wedding. Also, she wanted her to choose a dress that downplayed her pregnancy as much as possible. I was just so aggravated. I spoke to my friend to see if he could reason with her. He told me to just play ball on this one. It's her day, and to cut him a break because he'd be dealing with her nonsense for the rest of his life. I was annoyed, but I calmed down. The day of, all the bride and buddy do is scold me, berate me, and bark orders. I head down to the bar for a drink, and the bride's mother is there and warns me not to get drunk because I've ruined her daughter's day. Enough. Final straw. I don't give them the card with the cash. And in my speech, I used my friend's exact wording about having to deal with her nonsense for the rest of his life. I wished them the best and told him I'd always be there for him, especially during the divorce. Am I an asshole?
Based on what he's gone through, no, because I probably would have said a much, much worse.
Well, I love what he said. I do love what he said. But I do have some issues. There are a few concerns. Amy Lou, my concern is like, well, for one, he didn't stick up for his wife very much in the during the whole thing. Like, I don't hear him calling the husband the husband and saying anything, Amy, I'm with you. I could barely read it because the first time I read it with a friend, I was going, yeah, right. Oh my God. Like, I was like, I could not. I couldn't believe that was such a perfect example of a bridezilla, or as Pretend says, head Karen bridezilla. Absolutely. That was too much. Wear something that doesn't show your pregnancy. Don't make it a pregnancy scene. Like, don't talk about your pregnancy. Jealous much? Like, what's going on? I don't understand this at all.
Here's my thing is, instead of going through all that, just say, like, you know what, your wife can't come to the wedding. You might as well have just said that.
You might as well. It was awful. And then just being that way, and I don't know. I'm kind of happy about what he said, especially when the husband. First of all, why are they getting married? The buddy is actually texting him, listen, just like be quiet and deal with it. I'll have to deal with it for the rest of my life. Like, just be calm, just like cool. Like, you know what? And I'm like, dude, if you realize that she's bad like that it's that bad. Like, what? Like, why are you getting married?
I mean, here's my thing. What this tells me is that the guy getting married, the buddy, he has been complaining about his fiance to his friend, for his friend to get up there and feel comfortable enough to say, I'll be there for you during the divorce. That tells me a lot.
Yes, because he said it, right? And I want to follow this one to find out if they're still friends afterward. How about you? Like, because, man, that had to be some wedding after that speech, huh?
Oh, most definitely.
So it's like, oh, I can't even believe it. But anyway, who do you think is the asshole in this thing?
The buddy, in my opinion.
Well, he is quite the asshole for asking his friend to step down, not supporting his friend's wife while she's getting terrorized by text through her husband, and then not saying anything to his fiance. I have another word for him. It's not exactly asshole, but I do think he's a little spineless. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think he's a bit spineless. I don't know. I if he's putting up. Yeah, he did the big P word for sure. I don't know. The bride is definitely an asshole. But what concerns me is that the fiance knows it and he's fine with it. And he's fine with her treating people this way. It's really, the bride seems very insecure to me, but that's my opinion. She does. She like, why can you not, why can you not show that you're pregnant?
She's, you know what? She's one of those like bridezillas who like will pick the worst bridesmaids dresses and the worst color on everyone else so she looks the best. She's also that bridezilla, like, you can't wear any version of white, no cream, no off-white, no eggshell, no beige, nothing. Only I can be in white. And don't you dare, if you show up to my wedding in white, you will be escorted out by security. She is one of those.
Right, exactly. I agree. I want to take bets on how long that dumpster fire lasted. I don't know. I don't know. He seems to be okay with it. So, like, who knows? Mr. Sirius says he lowered himself to their level, but his friend and wife are horrible people. I agree. You know, waiting all that time until he finally had enough. Like, you know, he waited until the day of the wedding to finally say his piece. He should have been saying that stuff like it all along. And supporting his wife a little more. But, you know, I don't know for sure that he didn't either, because it doesn't really go into it, you know?
Right.
But at least you don't have to deal with her all the time like me. Great precursor to a wedding. Exactly, Jersey Shore. Like, somebody explain to me why they're still getting married if they know that. Like, why? Why are they still getting married? I don't understand. I do not understand this at all. So, if you think... I think you know what I think. I think that the bride and the groom and his mother and her mother are all assholes. Like, I think actually in this one, I'm voting number 5. Everybody involved in this story, except for the pregnant wife, is an asshole. Everybody had some asshole going on. I think the op writer is not as big an asshole as the other ones. He was an asshole by being assholed. Like, he got so assholed by everybody else. He had no choice but to be an asshole. He got backed into an asshole corner. I do wish he chose a better way to deal with it beforehand and support his wife. I hope he didn't embarrass his wife at the wedding. If she's like me and probably stood up and cheered, which I would do if he did that, I would be clapping and stand up and cheer, and then we would leave together right after the speech, because I wasn't going to hang around while everybody complained about it. But I guess it depends on if that happened. But I say everybody. But if you think it's just the writer, the original poster, vote number 1. If you think it is the bride, vote number 2. If you think it's the groom, number 3. Number 4 is no asshole and yay porn. And number 5 is all assholes, including the mother at the bar that just had to chime in, you know, with her little comment. That's not very nice either. It made the whole family look like assholes, actually, you know. But let's see. I'm going to vote 5.
All of them.
I don't know. I'm trying to see. The bride and her mother get the asshole and the Karen awards. They are Karens for sure. I don't know. Can you be a bridezilla and a Karen at the same time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I don't know how these things work with the Karens. All right. It looks like everybody agrees 5 so far. I'm with the bear. Thanks, Amy. I got my bear squad. I was like, I would have written a separate speech. Oh, let me pull this up. Ooh, Nikki, I would have written a separate speech and used the real one to put the Bridezilla on blast. You know, I, you know what? That would be something. I would like to hear that. I would like to hear that. I agree with Mr. Sirius, agreeing with Claire. Okay. Definitely. Thank you. All right. So it looks like almost everybody said 5. I don't even see, I can't see all of the chat, but it looks like everybody agrees with the number.
Yeah, it's looking like all 5.
Oh, all right. We got one more. You ready?
Yes, ma'am.
You ready, chat? I don't know. This one's pretty lit. If you're going to handle this, there might be fights. I should not precipitate these things this way and get you guys all excited, and then it'll be all bummed up when nothing happens. Okay. Am I the asshole for not feeling bad that my girlfriend is having a hard time at work? My girlfriend works at Unnamed International Coffee Corp and works part-time there. She works about 5 to 8 hours a day for a total of 25 to 30 hours a week. I work at Unnamed International Warehouse Corporation, and I work 10 to 12-hour days up to 70 hours a week on occasion. I'm not trying to compare us, and I don't expect her to do all the things I do. However, she complains a lot that work is hard and her legs hurt, and I never run my mouth about how easy her job is, and I'm not a dick about it. But when she asks me to go somewhere or to get something and I've just clocked out of a 10-hour shift, I'm not usually obliging. Then she'll tell me that her legs hurt and she was working all day, and I'll inform her that I worked a long day in a warehouse and that's why my legs hurt. She'll become upset and say I'm trying to one-up her and I don't care about what she's going through, which I do, but I'm just trying to let her know I'm exhausted and would just like for her to handle whatever she said things it is. But to be honest, I don't feel bad if her most difficult experiences are rude customers when mine are unloading freight trucks by hand from China. Does that make me a bad guy? Edit. I should have noted that I have worked in several customer service environments like hers before. I know what it's like. That's why I initially said it's easy. I've had all sorts of customers make me run around doing things that aren't even my responsibility, and management not giving 2 shots of putting anyone else on because the customer is always right. Well, I'm going to leave this one up. This one has sentences that need to be addressed. So,
Where do you want to start?
I want to start with, don't say, first of all, very bad writing. Very bad writing. Don't say you're a dick when you're actually being a dick. Don't say you're not a dick in public and write it out like that when clearly I read the 3 sentences before. And yeah, dude, you might have a tough job, but you are totally being a dick about this. There's a better way, in my humble, bare opinion. There's a better way. Take it, Jamal.
I mean, here's the thing. I understand his point of view. You know, when she's tired because of her job. Like, I've done customer service for over 20 years, so I get how tiring it could be mentally and emotionally, because when you have those irate customers, they take a lot out of you. They take a lot out of you because you can't cuss them out. Now, I've hung up on some people before, but like, you know what, you yelling at me, click. I ain't got time for you.
Right.
Especially at the end of my day, when it's an hour before I'm about to get off, and you want to come yelling and screaming at me, hooting and hollering at something that's your fault. I'm gonna give you 5 minutes. Now I'm gonna tell you, like, you know, you're yelling at me, being disrespectful. I can't help you if you're being disrespectful. And they keep going, click. And my favorite is when they call back, come on, you hung up on me, still yelling. I'm like, yes, I did, because you're yelling at me, and blah blah blah. Click again. I hung up on this like 3 times before she got the hint. So I get that part. Now, for his part, you know, I understand he does like what we call like actual manual labor, and that's physically tiring. So I understand his point of view. But sir, how hard is it? Like, you know what? I'm tired right now. I want to relax. Can I do it later?
Exactly. Yep. And you know what? There's a way to do it. And rather than go on a usual bearism rant here, I'm going to just read two comments that kind of validate how I'm feeling here about this particular one. The first commenter says, "You're the asshole. I'm pretty sure I work harder than my husband, both in hours worked and experience involved. If he has a shitty day, it won't make him feel one bit better to know I might have had it worse. It won't make me feel better either. It's just not a useful way to approach the situation. He listens to me and supports me, and vice versa. This doesn't mean you have to do stuff for her based on her work, but I do think the overall attitude you'll bring into this will make it challenging to have a thriving relationship. I have never been a barista, but it looks like a job that has periods of stress, lots of time on your feet, and plenty of challenging customers' interactions. I'd probably complain sometimes if it was my job." And then this is my favorite because the last two words of this, I want to scream from the rooftop. "You can validate her feelings without taking on more responsibilities. You can set boundaries without being mean about it. If she asks you to pick something up after work, you can say you're too tired tonight, but maybe the two of you can run a bunch of errands together on your next day off or whatever. But here's the point. Validate and compromise, validate that she's having a tough day. What's wrong with that? You don't have to chime in there with how tough your job is. Your job is tough, but does that mean that she doesn't get to say anything? Like, because you work more hours or you're lifting boxes? Customer service is tough. Where does he get off saying her job is easy? It might be easy for him. He could say, your job would be easy if I was doing it. But he doesn't have any right to say that her job is easy when she's doing it. He don't know what she's going through. Validate and compromise. It's all about talking to your partners. They don't communicate. They do not communicate adequately at all as partners, in my humble opinion. But they don't. That's what's wrong with most of these AITAs is the lack of actual intelligent conversation going around with the people who are having the issues. Like, they don't talk. They don't they don't validate each other. They don't compromise. It's a shame.
I had a similar situation. Oops, sorry.
No, go.
I had a similar situation when I was working years ago when I first started in the industry I'm still in. And I had it was a general manager, and I was an assistant operations manager. And the way I ran my location was very, very minimal, very simple, very easy. So there were certain things in my control that he didn't like when I made those decisions. I'm like, well, I made the decision because of this. Well, I don't like it. And then he went on a tangent. And he said, like, your job is like much easier than mine. I have all this stress. Like, we have like goals. I'm like, I have goals too. So like, he just went on this like list of things that like where my job was easy. I said, okay. I'm like, you think my job is easy? So how about this? How about we switch jobs? We'll do for one day. He's like, okay, fine. It'll be no problem. It'll be super easy. I'm like, okay. So we worked it out with our prospective managers. So he took my job for a Monday. And I literally gave him my schedule because my days are scheduled out. Like what I have to do, when, where, why, reports. I'll say, here's everything I have to do. And you got to deal with the customers. Oh, and make sure you do your inventory. It's all on the list. You got this, right? Go ahead. So literally the first hour, he gets cussed out 5 times.
Oh my God. Oh no.
5 times. Oh. Five times. And he's like, and I'm in his office watching, like cracking up. Because we deal with this on a daily basis. So he comes into his office. He's like, okay, dude. He's like, I apologize. I shouldn't have said that. Like, your job is much harder than I thought it was. He's like, these people are rude. I'm like, you rude. Mm-hmm. I'm like, you think, like, listen, like, like you said, validate. I understand you're upset, but come on now. But back to the story, the one thing I could not do is like food service. I couldn't do it. I'm always nice to people at Starbucks and Pete's, because when those people want their like no whip, skinny, half almond milk, half chocolate milk, I'm like, You want all that? So I'm like, I feel for those people. So I'm always nice. Like, you know what? Can I get this? And if they make a mistake, I said, you know what? This wasn't what I ordered, but I'll give it a try. Like, no worries. They're like, oh
Yeah.
my god, like, no, like
And
you have to understand, communicate.
And you don't even have to be an asshole at Starbucks because they have a policy. If it's wrong, you just give it back. They will smile and remake it. Even if you told them wrong, even if they wrote it down, whatever, they just smile and remake it. You don't have to drink it. Then I have family I have family in management and as baristas in Starbucks all over. And yeah, that's the policy. Customers always right. And it's been rough, especially during COVID, because coffee places were one of the first places you could go to, even with the screens and everything, and try to get it. And people were taking out all their anger on everybody they came face to face with, especially where I'm from here in Jersey. They're just a little rough sometimes anyway with their attitude.
Rough.
So yeah, rough. No, it was rough. Like they had a lot of abuse. They had abuse that Starbucks actually had a policy that when you were attacked by a customer during COVID, if they like got loud in your face or they were spitting on the screens and shit, like you automatically got 2 weeks off to go deal with it. Like they were supporting you because people were brutal. At least that's how it was in my state. Oh yeah, that's how it was in my state. It was insane. Student says, 30 years chef. My day struggles were always good for a laugh with my partners. Exactly. You got to bring if you can't vent and complain about your job to your partner when you get home, who are you supposed to talk to? Is that not your person? Is that not your ear? Even if it's silly, what's wrong with a little rub on the back and say, I get it, babe. You know, let's just move on. Like it's all, let it go. Let her vent for a few minutes. Go on. If it's my partner, I'm going to listen. You know, I'm going to make a joke. I'm going to try to make their day better. I'm not going to go, oh, you got some nerve complaining because I worked 70 hours. You know, maybe I did. So what? What does that have to do with you being there for your partner and being a decent partner, being a partner? They're just a word, partner. Just what does that have to do with it? You're not validating how they feel. You know, gosh, they really have to look at that relationship. Like if somebody starts doing that to me, man.
You know what? I agree with you because they have this poor communication now. Like how's it gonna be when you're married?
Right. Oh, or if they have kids, like, I ain't changing that diaper. You got home 15 minutes before I did. You better do it. Like, what? Is he going to be one-upping her the whole time and then saying, but I'm not really a dick because I work hard. Oh, I gave you my paycheck. So, like, you know, that's okay. Like, I could just, my brain just went like, complete overload and all the bad things that could happen. And sorry, you know, original poster, that I'm judging you so harsh, but it's the way you wrote. You kind of put me there. You know, if that's not how you are, you better read it 2, 3, 4, 5 times before you post it, because, you know, every time you said you weren't a dick, I was like going, yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Yes, you most certainly are. But Jersey Jojo said at her last real-time job, if someone as snotty to my car worker, she would stay cool. And at the end, she would say, have a day that's as pleasant as you are. I wish I had the balls. That is a perfect statement. I hope you get treated as nicely as you were to me. Like, have a great day. You know, I wish for you all that you just gave me. Have a good one. I like that, Jersey Jojo. And you know what? You do have the balls to do that. I'm sure you could do that, actually. This is a great one. So let's vote, people, as if there's any vote here.
the one up, you never want, when it comes, I always tell people when it comes to jobs, especially in relationships, don't do the one-upping game because no one wins. Because someone's feelings going to get hurt. Someone's going to feel invalidated. Don't do that. Just don't do it from the beginning.
Exactly. Don't do it. Validate and compromise. Those were the words. I mean, I want to scream them. I want to scream communicate at every time I do one of these. I want to talk about people not talking to each other. And yeah, I mean, I you know, I have a little fun, and I'm a huge asshole when I point this shit out. But yeah, they are just making their own problems. He's digging himself into a situation. It's just not going to go well. It does. She, you know, and she has a point. Like, what do you mean? Like, you're trying to one up me. If somebody says that to you, do you not take a step back and think that, like, well, maybe you did? Like, why did they feel that way? Why are you writing on AITA about it? Like, and not thinking I'm gonna call you an asshole when I read it, because damn, you know, I feel for the dude not wanting to go to the store and stuff, but there's a way, you know, there's definitely a way to do it. She has a right to complain no matter what, you know.
Oh, most definitely. My thing is because you just invalidated her job right there, which is completely rude.
And right. And in that, when you invalidate someone's feelings like that, when they're trying to tell you how they feel, no, it might not be a fact. It might not be like that's the way the world is. It's just how she feels right this moment. It doesn't take anything to give them that grace, that moment of kindness, and validate them so they can move past it. Like a little support. Like I don't know. It's like, if you think the operator is the asshole, write one. For the original poster that did this, the guy who's saying that he's like all that in a bag of chips, pickle on the side, I disagree. Vote number 1 if you think he's the asshole. Vote number 2 if you think the girlfriend's the asshole. Vote number 3 if there is is there a number 3? If they're both assholes, vote number 3. Because some may think that she's an asshole for complaining when she has a job that part-time, but it's not actually part-time at Starbucks. Starbucks 30 hours is full-time. And also number 4 is, if there are no assholes in this story, vote number 4 for no asshole and yay porn. You can also do multiple votes if you want. Like I always do 1 and a big yay porn anyway, because what the heck. But
I like Jersey Jojo's comment. I can't even vote on this one. I think it depends on the person. Me personally, I would rather work an 18-hour shift in the warehouse than work 4 hours as a cashier anywhere. Yeah, I'm kind of with Jersey on this one because
I am too, because it's hard. It's hard, right? But you can vote. You can vote by how he disvalued his partner. You can vote on that end of it. You know, it's not about the job, actually, when I look at this. It's not about their jobs. It's about how he invalidated her.
Yeah, because I've done customer service for like 20 plus years, but it's in the fitness industry, so you're dealing with the same people over and over again. So that softens the blow. But I couldn't do like the Starbucks or like be a cashier at Safeway or a grocery store. I don't think I could do it. It would be really tough.
No, I hear that. I hear it. It's got to be really tough, but it's still, you're gonna have tough jobs. I'm sure we all have tough days, right? I mean, if this is how they are about the job, what's gonna happen if something happens that they have to work together and compromise? Life throws shit at you. There's gonna be deaths in the family. There's gonna be illnesses. There's gonna be births and weddings and celebrations. There's gonna be changes of jobs. There's going to be just even in our country, when things happen like COVID or the economy or businesses shut down and just all kinds of stuff. If you're not validating and compromising, you're going to have trouble every single day of this relationship, because there's always going to be something. There's always going to be something that's going to come up. This has been a lot of fun, Jamal. You're going to come back again, you know? You were the first man who came to my AITA, which I greatly appreciate. And then I started getting DMs that I didn't have any men on there. I really objected to that strongly, as you saw. And I started to put out a plea to get more men to come up, because I like it when you guys are here. You give a nice balanced perspective. Not that two women don't, because opinions are opinions. You don't have to be one or the other to have one. Opinion is a personal thing. It's a human thing. It's not a sex thing. But I appreciate, and I hope you come back again soon. And, whenever you're in the area, if you want to stop by for Saturday nights, which are crazy. I understand it might be a little too crazy for you.
I did. No, yeah. Actually, so on Saturday, that's my poker day. So, but I was actually, like, I did catch the stream. I was just listening in the background. Ooh, and because it was the whole, I do want to weigh in on the garlic situation, because I'm sorry, I like my garlic, especially on my fettuccine, my shrimp scampi.
Thank you. Are you with me with the garlic? Are you like They are tearing me up all over Twitter and everywhere. They think it's a thing. I'm making fun of it, but I am not turning my man away because he smells like garlic. I don't care, people. It doesn't offend me. I like the smell because I'm probably eating the garlic with him. I don't care. If it's in his beard, if he smells a little bit like garlic when I go to kiss him, I'm not calling 911 on calling the sex police on him or any of that stuff. It's fine with me. I stand by my I love garlic stance.
Garlic is really good. And my thing is this. My whole thing is this. If you're smelling like garlic, I want to know what you ate, where did you get it, and where's my plate. That's what I want to know.
That's it. That's a good point. The only time I have issue with garlic is when they're not sharing. Then I have an issue with the garlic. But other than that, I'm all for it. I mean, garlic's in almost everything that I cook and I make, not desserts and stuff, but almost everything I cook.
Because usually, like the best meals I've had have garlic. So I'm thinking like, well, you didn't went out and ate real good and then didn't invite me. What's that about? I'm more mad about I wasn't invited, to be completely honest.
Nikki's doing this all over Twitter on me. You see this? This is what I get from that stream. I might be naked, I may be drunk, and I like garlic. Yep. It's immortalized. It's immortalized, Nikki. I said it. I own it. It's true. You can't tell. I assure you I'm not today. It's a weekday, but it's fine. But anyway, thank you so much, Jamal. I'm going to put the outro on, and if you have a few minutes to join them in chat before you have to leave. Otherwise, everyone will see you Saturday if you can make it. Next week, we have Dina on Thursday and possibly another stream. I have a few other things in mind. Jamal will be on at 7 o'clock. I believe one of the mods has dropped the link for, he's going to be just in a few minutes over there on the commentary channel. You're doing Real Housewives, Jamal?
Yeah, we're covering New York and Beverly Hills, and I'm really mad at Beverly Hills, so y'all really wasting my time for these first 9 episodes. We could have just started at this episode and kept it moving. So yeah, we'll be talking about that.
Wait, they cut it so short. It's only 9. What's their excuse for that?
No, we're like episode 9, right? And we're finally getting to like some good parts. Y'all wasted my 8 hours with the previous episodes because they were nothing.
See, yeah, I hear you. That used to frustrate me so much when absolutely nothing goes on and nothing goes on and nothing goes on. But anyway, everybody check it out. They do have a funny take on this stuff. It's good. If you watch The Housewives, you should check up with them to get caught up on what's going on, because there are so many housewives now, right, Jamel? There's too many for me. I had to leave. There's too many. I can't keep them straight. There's too many of them, and they were all doing the same thing. Like they were all doing the same thing. So it got crazy for me. But I will see you in the chat. Thank you again. You come back soon. All right.
Of course. Just let me know anytime.
Okay, great. Have a good night, and I'll see you at 7.
All right. See ya.